Hey everyone, Vamp here. First of all, I'd like to apologize that I haven't really been active on YouTube for most of this summer after RBD's launch. Outside of playtesting the things that are about to be released sometime tomorrow for Darktide, I have spent most of my summer on work and touch grass on other hobbies. I kinda needed the breather. As for this video, there's a lot to cover for this upcoming patch. I don't have the time or knowledge to explain everything that's changed. After our BD's launch, some of us in testing split off to specialize in different parts of this update since it's a massive class rework and game balance quality of life patch. I will cover some general changes and then go over the things I was most involved in. I mostly worked on class reworks, harder Auric pacing, enemy stat tweaks, and the new Boltgun and Boltpistol. For reworks, I was mostly involved with Veteran and Zealot, with some involvement for the Psyker rework. I didn't really have time to test Havoc 4.0, which was tested on mostly by JSAT, Combine, and a few others. The Havoc clears I post later will pretty much be my blind experience with the new modifiers. Okay, for the basic stuff first. There is now a new integrated stamina and dodge bar feature in the game. This is added so that console players have a little bit more of a quality of life feature that some PC players tend to have with their mods. And this can be customized in various ways. In-game, this is how it works. Yep, dodge resets. Your sprints, it's a gradual UI meter. It's not a choppy like it was before. The dodge counter will show one less dodge than the max of your weapon. In the case of Shovel, it has 5 dodges, so treat it as you have 4 until you're on your last dodge, and it starts warning you with every dodge afterwards with a little flash. And there's the reset. The campaign is now on its separate playlist to queue into. This is especially nice for people that want to replay the Karnak twins. Auric's got a little bump in difficulty to bridge the gap between old Auric and Havoc's. Certain changes to adventure mode include captains being able to spawn with speedrunning prevention mechanics. Auric missions now have hordes spawn based on time, similar to Havoc. Mobian 21st and mutated poxwalkers will also spawn in Heresy and above. And here's our dreaded new enemy, the Scab Plasma Gunner. He's a ranged mauler on steroids. His plasma gun and eyes will glow red when he starts firing. He is immune to suppression. His shots will apply a nasty debuff to you. Blocking the shot with a shield or deflector will only prevent the debuff from getting applied. The debuff will severely reduce any form of toughness replenishment. Now here's a clip of his firing pattern. Revive speed now also affects rescue. This works on nets and rescuing players that respawn. Chainswords and Eviscerators do significantly more damage in their sawing special attacks now, especially versus armor. It takes a bit of a build-up, but it's on par with Chain Axe, if not just a little bit below, so Chain Axe still has a utility, or not utility, unique strength versus armor. Vigilant Autoguns have had a tremendous quality of life update with their hipfire and recoil. They also have improved maniac damage, and the different marks do different damage to certain targets now. We finally improved the front sight for the Hellbores. It should be a lot easier to pick up targets now, in general use. Crack grenades now detonate much faster than before, making it a viable option compared to frags. We've sped up the smoke grenade wield time to 0.2 seconds compared to 0.9 seconds before. We've given Scab Elites more HP on Heresy and above. This is to give them a bit more tankiness compared to their Dreg equivalents. The Crusher in particular has a lot more HP than before, but it's compensated by having lower spawn numbers relative to how it used to be. We're introducing a new Boltgun and Boltpistol mark to the game. They both have a smaller magazine and total capacity compared to their old counterparts. They also have less finesse damage. In exchange, they have explosive ammo that does minor AoE damage past the first target hit. The explosive shot also has a larger stagger radius compared to normal shots. Both the Boltgun and Boltpistol can open up bulwarks with a shot to their toes, given it enough collateral stat. We're introducing a new weapon family for vets. The Power Falchion works very similarly to Zealot Relic Blades. They have more mobility in exchange for lower damage peaks compared to the old power swords. The two marks work similarly to the Relic Blades marks, with one having a straightforward moveset, and the other with a more technical moveset with overheads and uppercuts. Okay, now I'll go over the Veteran, Zealot, and Psyker trees. The main goal this summer was to bring these trees to the same level of quality of life that we had for Arbites and Ogryn. We don't necessarily expect players to diverge too hard from the identity of their older builds. However, there should be a lot more minor variations of builds now, thanks to preferences from playstyle and weapon choices. Executioner's stance now generates toughness while in the stance. It is now a competitive personal range DPS option that doesn't turn vets into a glass cannon anymore. Additionally, the Ogryn marking sub-talent lasts 8 seconds instead of 5 to make it competitive versus counterfire. Infiltrate now has surprise attack baked in for 30% damage. Okay, the Zealot Tree was our main priority this patch. Our goal as testers was to help make the entire Zealot Tree have stuff worth picking so that the one build isn't the only option anymore. If you guys can forgive me for rambling and stumbling with my words for the next few minutes, I will try to go over as much as possible on Zealot. Okay, the first row has general damage talents that most people would want on Zealot. The second row has all the general toughness talents that most people would want. We've changed up enemies within, enemies without to be a little bit stronger, just so you have a viable option that isn't just completely dodge spam reliant, like on Second Wind. Percy Clean and Duelist are here as additional damage options. Like all other trees, blitzes have been decoupled, so it's not a point tax anymore. Until Death and Holy Revenant are pretty much in the middle and placed earlier because, let's be honest, which Zealot doesn't take this? This middle cluster has been designed in such a way that you can pick and choose between any branch, per se, or so to speak, when you go down to your auras. However, because there's so many good options now, you really have to play into the identity of your preferred melee weapon when choosing some of these talents. Desperation has been changed, so it's scaling on missing stamina instead of activating only on 0%. Here's a new talent to help with some cleave. Here's a new talent for our reworked Shroud Field that I'll explain later. This has replaced Sainted Gunslinger, because, let's be honest, Sainted Gunslinger was kind of subpar in my opinion. This is a nicer option. This middle row has 3 very strong talents that are easy picks, so that you can go to any aura without feeling like it's a point tax. Additionally, we've gotten rid of Loner. We've changed it to Zealous because, let's be honest, Loner was more or less a griefing aura. Here's some new talents we've made for Zealot. Retaliatory Defense is secretly busted in my opinion in a good way, because when you're rezzing someone, that extra stamina could be the make or break of getting someone up. This is a nice little defensive talent for people that like to have some extra dodges based off of perfect blocking. It's not on the main path, so it's not really a point tax for anybody, but if you want to experiment with it, it's here. We added a generic Elites damage node here. Master's Retribution has been moved up from the Piety tree to here because it's a pretty good utility talent that fits the theme of the middle. Oh yeah, that's also another thing. Left, middle, and right have been changed to have a theme of like an aggressive frontliner, somewhat tanky support with some damage utility, and then left as flanking / stealth. That's not a absolute, that's just a rough idea we went with. Fury of the Faithful is still the same, except we've added this. It's just a subnode that's similar to a Break the Line subnode, where if you kill something, you get something back, instead of hitting like it is on Arbitrator's Break the Line. Shroud Field now works a lot closer to how, if you've played it, Vermintide 2's Shade. It's got a bit more damage just to round out your weapon variety to make the most of a chosen weapon in a single alpha strike from the stealth hit. And the subnodes have been changed up a bit as well. Master Crowded Shroud Field plays into that sort of shade sort of role where you can flank aggressively and just do some damage before you regroup, or you cause enough chaos while with the reduced threat that your team catches up to you. This is an extra mitigation option, and just like for Fury of the Faithful, we've added this so that you can play with your cooldowns. And speaking of cooldowns, we've fixed the 3 cooldown options so that Invocation of Death isn't an auto pick anymore. You'll also notice that we've locked each cooldown node because we made it so that you can't just spam everything at once. You have to pick and choose which one you really want. This is, in my opinion, one of the biggest cooldown changes we've made. Martyr's Purpose is not trash anymore. It is scaling off your missing health instead of the hit you take. So if you're playing with Martyrdom, it lines up perfectly with Martyr's Purpose, where you can edge your health and still have effective cooldown. Similarly, with Inexorable Judgment, the Pious Cutthroat is just a simple to activate ability based off of your playstyle. As for the keystones, the talents above it really lean further into each keystone now. The crits keystone has stuff that plays off of crit and bleeds, particularly. We've also baked in the crits refreshing on triggering Fury, because it was a case where we've noticed players would tend to lose their stacks when fighting a boss, or in moderate downtime where they couldn't crit anything to maintain stacks. And here's some talents that really lean into the martyrdom playstyle of fast, 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 fast. Martyrdom's also been changed from having a max of 6 down to 5. This is so that you can have a bit more flexibility in your curio options now. If you really want to max out Martyrdom, you only need 2 wound curios now, so you have a bit more flexibility on what your third curio will be. The totals are roughly the same as they were before, so you basically just got another curio slot. We've also added this as an alternate option for builds. And this is some extra mitigation if you want it. And then Inexorable Judgment has a lot of talents that really lean into either backstab or dodging. Relentless Fervor is different from Swift Certainty because of the 1 second immune from slowdown. If this is working correctly, this should allow you to run through Beast of Nurgle Slime without slowdown. We've also restored Inexorable Judgment to 20 stacks to make it a bit more competitive with Martyrdom, due to Martyrdom being easier to min-max with a max stack of 5 instead of 6. And finally, we have Psyker. I wasn't too involved in the Psyker rework outside of some tree pathing and talent placements, but I will try to explain a few changes from how I understood other testers' input and dev decisions. With this, all classes are now on the same level in terms of quality of life for tree pathing. This was a massive undertaking over the summer, and I don't think anyone in the public really expected to have all these reworks come out all at once. I know that I didn't quite go over everything, as like I said at the start of the video, us testers decided to divide and conquer to make the most of this very quick summer, as well as rotating dev vacations. I hope this video helped to break down the upcoming patch, as the changelog is likely overwhelming.